2024 end of the year wrap up. That's what we're going to talk about today. Everything that we learned in 2024 as realtors, as a company, and as a person. There's actually a lot that I can talk about in this podcast. Simply, you guys just hear me asking questions, but I have a lot to say. Just in these last 2 years, I personally learned a lot about myself and about this business in general. Usually, I don't like to pay attention to what's going on around me in this business because I've always seen real estate as a stepping stone versus as a foundation. But I think my mindset is starting to change. We'll go ahead and start with you guys. Let us know what you learned in 2024, certain things that stood out to you, or just in general, what's your vision for 25 as well?
I could get started with the, this year I had the opportunity to get closer to some people.
Are you okay, bro?
What happened? I think the wine goes to the wrong way.
Yeah.
Thank you
for narrating that, Rob. Sorry about that, guys.
This year I had the opportunity to meet some new colleagues, some new friends, hang around a kind of a different group of people, and also got to watch. I spent a lot of time kind of just watching kind of where the market was going and what people were doing, and I'm extra motivated, and I have some big goals for next year, and I'm pretty fired up. I think this year was on paper, it was a great year for the company. It was a decent rebound year for the company for what we had last year. A lot of people, lost a lot last year. A lot of people continue to lose this year. We were able to kind of steer in a solid direction, and I want to build on that, and I want to double down on some things that worked. I'm hoping to add some pieces that are much needed. And hopefully we can do big things, and I want to get rid of filler words like hopefully and things like that. I have big goals. We're going to accomplish them. We're going to hit them. Nate, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
I think that this year was an eye opener for a lot of us. I think you said it. I think you hit the nail on the head whenever you said that. It's the year of the Hispanic or the Latin community.
Yeah.
And I think that, this whole COVID thing really started the movement. And I think that we're going to come in next year and we're definitely going to make some changes. And definitely, I guess people are ready for what we were trying to give them, for so many years. People are finally ready for that, and we're going to do that. I think this year was an eye opener for me as well. With I wasn't, whenever you're at a certain level of in your career or in your industry, right? You really don't pay attention too much. You kind of get tunnel vision, and I just really didn't realize. What a reputation I had built for myself in this industry as being a jerk, right?
And I hate it.
Yeah, being
a realtor.
Yeah, being I gave myself a reputation for being a jerk.
Hey, but at least you have one, though.
Yeah, at least I have a reputation, right? No,
and a good one.
So I guess this year what I'm gonna try to do is work more on letting people know that I am approachable. I am not a jerk, the other word that I was labeled. I'm just very passionate, and I'm very matter of fact, right? And if you're with you'll understand. All the realtors that are with me, that they're in my company or they're my associates. They understand how passionate I am. I will literally go to bat for you. I will fight for you. And and if you're with us, you're with us. If you're not, then you're not, and so,
and I'm gonna sum that up. Those were great adjectives, right? Let's recap it. He's a passionate, approachable jerk, and that's why we love him.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
No, you want to. I think that's something that Nate and I have both wanted to talk about. So vice versa, or I guess on the other side of that spectrum is, I seem to be very approachable. I seem to be very, easygoing and very carefree. And I think that when you work closely to me, you realize very quickly that I'm not as playful as I pretend to be. I like things a certain way. Not flexible on a lot of things that I'd like to be flexible on. I'm pretty hard on myself and my team, And I think that's why I can enjoy the time away from work, because at work we are pretty cutthroat, and I'm pretty serious and pretty hell-bent on doing things the way I need them done. And you know, we haven't done a really good job of putting our personality there, because you do need a balance, right? You do need a balance of approachable. You do need a conviction. You need a lot of follow through. I think this is why I respect Nate, as my business partner, and why we've continued to work well together. Full transparency, I've always been really great at starting things. My strong suit is not the finish, the follow up. And with Nate and I, we've been able to kind of play on both sides, and now that we're not now, but we're on that same page as far as what we want to do, and we are looking to hire, we are looking to grow, we are looking to kind of show that passion to everybody the way we want it to be shown. It's something that wasn't easy for us, and I don't think it is. I think we put on these cameras and you like put on the show, and you don't mean to, but you do, right? And then those get clipped out. So you're putting on this show, it gets clipped out, and then that's your perception of you, and that's not who you are as a person. So I think we want to do a better job of letting our company culture shine through, letting our work shine through, and letting our work speak for itself versus us speaking for our work.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the main things that I've learned, and not just this last year, but these last 2 years, is probably my most difficult years in real estate, just personally for my personal goals within real estate. Like I was telling Nate the other day, I feel like I've made it these last 2 years by the skin of my teeth, like what Paulie said in the Sopranos, right? So, I mean, whether that measure for somebody who's coming into the business be like, oh, well, you did so good. But for me personally, for my personal goals and what I had envisioned, I feel like these last 2 years were just like a slump for me. But it actually made me focus and start to pay attention on the things that I need to achieve. And one of the things I started paying attention to was, okay, well, what is everybody else in the market doing? The people who are successful, what are they doing? And one thing that I noticed, at least because I tell you guys all the time, right, especially on this podcast, I'm not a friend of the realtor, right? Like I steer away from all of the realtors. The only realtors that I hang out with is people in here. I was surprised because I had a new realtor sit in front of me the other day, and we were coming up with a game plan for 25, and she was asking me about all these other realtors. I was like, I've been in the business 7 years. Like I don't know any of them. Like, I don't hang out. Only realtors I hang out with, Lionsgate Realty realtors. That's it.
Sure.
Right. And I slowly started to pay attention to the market and your competition. And one thing that threw me off, which maybe you guys could answer for me as somebody who's been in this business even longer and actually mingles within the industry, is two things that I'm seeing. I'm seeing these guys who had big teams going off to other brokerages, and I'm seeing these brokerages who seem like they were going somewhere sell to these bigger conglomerates that they used to fight against. So one thing that I don't understand is, especially for a newer realtor, it could be confusing, right? Because then they're like, okay, well, this guy seemed like he was doing good and he's going over here. And as us, what we push against, right, it's just like people just giving you leads or giving you just a topical information of the real estate market. If they're following that path, why is that incorrect? Or why are they even doing that? That was my question. I was like, these people were doing good. Why are they going to these other brokerages or these bigger conglomerates where they're not even just based in your market, they're globally or just over the U.S.
One thing that's always stood out to me, and this is for me becoming a father, it's your kids are going to figure you out someday, right? And if you've ever run a company, you start to feel that everyone is your kid. Like you got to back them up, you got to look for them, you got to bail them out of problems, you got to do things, right? And you still have that love and that care, and you want them, you want to rear them into a successful career and all those things, right? So I've always felt with that in business was very close and similar to each other. And what I will say is that when you're out of answers, you got to come up with something, right? You got to ignite and spark and you got to come up with something. And why I think people sell out or why people give up or why people kind of switch is because they're out of answers. There's no other things for them to do. And that is their next big thing. And for us, I feel why we don't feel this at our brokerage is because we are still very passionate and we still have the answers and we still have a lot of things that we haven't done and we haven't started our game plan the way we wanted to, and it's some of our downfalls. The perfectionism on our side is that we want everything to be so perfect and so in line that we're a little hesitant to roll out some products. And those are some things that we're hoping, those are some things we're going to change next year. And so I'm not looking to do those things. I can see why other people, when you run out of answers, you have to do something, right? And that seems like the best move. And that's the emotional side of it. The business side of it is, it was easy to sell a couple years ago, and you start to feel like you had the answers and you had the solutions. And when you don't, and you don't even know how you were successful or how you got deals, then there's nothing for you to teach. The market was your success. And when the market changed, then you have to run. There's nowhere else for you to go. And maybe Nate could jump in there, but I mean, I feel like that's what it is.
You know, this business is a self-starting business, right? Like there's really no, Trek has no guidelines for you how to run a brokerage. All it says is be ethical and be lawful, right? HAR doesn't really care what you do so long as you pay your dues. TAR doesn't care as long as you pay your dues. You know, everything is always ethics and law. Never, they never show you how to run a brokerage. So there's a lot of different ways to run this brokerage, and we learned this a long time ago. And so when the market changes, you have to change. And if you don't understand the market, then when the market changes, you won't know how to change or what to do to adjust, right? And that's what happens a lot of times is that, you get a lot of real estate agents that will join the business, right? And they'll go to the big franchise company because that's that's where, this is the way you're supposed to do business, right? Or the person that, slammed, 400 sales in 1 year, and oh my God, I got to follow this realtor because he knows what he's doing, right? But when the market changes and corrects itself, then nobody knows where to go. So what does everybody want to do at that time? Well, of course, it's new beginnings, right? And it never fails for there to be some brand new real estate company that's right there to fill the needs. When the market corrected itself, whenever I was in the business, I think the first company was Zillow. Then, EXP came along, and then, and Real came along. I mean, just so many, I can name so many freaking companies that just all of a sudden pop out of nowhere, right? Because they claim to be the next best thing, right? And then what do we see? We see them, essentially do the same thing that everybody's doing. They're essentially learning themselves, and then they run out of steam, and then it's like, what's the next big thing, And it's always easy for everybody to always reach outside of Texas, right? Oh, I'm gonna go to Chicago and I'm gonna join this big outfit out there because that's where I need to be. Or oh, I'm gonna join this Serhant guy, because he's from California, or Cochran because she's from New York, or whatever, right? Miami. And so it's easy to fall into the next trends, into the next big thing, into the person that has how you say in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king, right? And so fortunately, we saw a long time ago that we're from Texas, we're from the Houston area, we're from the Houston market, and nobody knows our market more than us. There's no gimmicks. There's no sales tactics. There's nothing that anybody could teach us. We know this area, and we've stuck to it. And I mean, it's almost and I'm gonna sound cliche, right? But it's we're in a bucking bull on a bull. We're bull riders. Don't matter what the real estate market does, we're still hanging on there. We might fall off here and there, but we get right back on and we ride that bull. And it's. I mean, we had an awesome year when people are leaving the business. And not just that, I mean, we have great freaking plans for 2025. I mean, our future is bright.
My biggest flex right now is that we were able to turn some unproductive, non-goal having, part-time, just crap, agents. And
for lack of better words.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Even, bro. I think the bigger flex is taking the ones that work full time, sending them back to their job, and making them produce even more. That's the flex right there. That's the bigger flex.
No, my biggest flex is having these agents that were part time that didn't really have the confidence to be successful in their business, to really get them to commit right now, because we were pointing out And this was, Nate definitely pointed out, when everyone's running, you probably should run towards it. And that spoke to me in a different way, because I've always been that, whether there's smoke, I'm going, right? Whether I want to help or I want to be there, I want to be for assistance, and everyone likes to feel that they're the hero. But when it comes down to it, what are you going to do? And, I've always been able to step up to the plate, and the same thing right now. I felt that a lot of agents were struggling. I felt like a lot of people were going through it, and I felt like they didn't have anywhere to turn. And I doubled down, and we convinced them. We collectively, there was agents that wanted to leave, they weren't sure, and Nate and I sat down in the office and we had conversations with them. We made commitments and promises to each other. Hey, if you commit to me, I promise that you're going to make this. And we take those serious. I checked in the quarter, I checked in monthly, we checked in weekly, we checked in daily, and we had some agents that didn't make money with us for a couple years kind of double down into our system and be successful this year, and hit their caps, and make more money than they've ever made, and it was a great time. It's a great feeling, and I don't think I have to say this for Nate, but I say, that's why we do it. We do it for you guys. We want you guys to win. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to grow. We want to establish a brand and a name for ourselves. And that's why we don't go after thousands and thousands and hundreds of agents. We go after quality. We go after people that can work with us.
And that's, to answer your question, that's one of the biggest problems, Jovani, is that, realtors join us, right? And they don't reach out. They literally will not reach out. They don't show up to the sales trainings. They don't show up to the meetings. They don't show up to the events. They don't call you. They're just out there doing whatever they want to do, right? And then, you have other agents that are just killing it, right? They're at our events. They're with us. We're with them every week, right? And they're like, oh, well, you're picking your favorites. Those are the ones you're helping. You're giving the secret sauce to the favorites. It's like, no. So I'm not giving any secret sauce.
At any moment, they could catch us in a heated conversation and get some good advice.
Yes, that's about it. And I'm saying, but these people are reaching out. These people are coming to us, and you'd be surprised how many people, they feel like not talking to us or not asking us for any advice. What did it say? Oh, I don't bug you. I just, do my business, right? And we're like, well, you're leaving tons of money on the table because you're not bugging me. You're leaving tons of money on the table because you're not coming, you're not talking to me. You're out there haggling me for commission splits and commission this and commission that, right? And paying a coach, right? Or paying some program to teach you how to do something that I will gladly show you how to do hands-on, And just like Vic said, we put our money where where our mouth is. We if you think this is a great deal, I will go to the bank and I'll pull the money out and I'll invest in you. I mean, we've invested in you several times, Jovani. And it was a good deal. We ran into a couple of good things. Good marketing stuff. And so we're there, but it's you have to be part of the system, part of this team, part of what we're doing. This can't be this is a means for an ends to my personal, career.
This is a, maybe a more personal side, but it's like, everyone in their life gets used at some point or the other, right? Mm-hmm. And I will say that I've been used my fair share of time by, people that I trusted. So I will not allow my realtors to use me. Right. And so I need you to commit to us and do things that we're asking. And if you show me commitment, you show me loyalty, there's no end to my help. I will do whatever and help you whenever, however I need to. I'm there for you if you do that for me. So all we ask is for loyalty and commitment, and you'll receive the same in return and in abundance.
And one of the reason why I bring up this conversation is because I think personally, the reason why I'm able to see kind of from like a third person view from this is because, yes, of course, right, we're family. So whether if this was a good company or a bad company, I was going to be stuck here, right? So There's no way out for me. Like it is what it is, right? I'm here. This is what it's going to be. I'll be here until it becomes better. If the case was that this was a bad company. So I don't necessarily have the foresight that other people have from bouncing from broker to broker. So whenever I'm here, it could be my cynical nature or just the fact that we're good, where I'm like, there's no other place that's going to be better than here. Like whatever I need, it's here. I know I've made money here. I know they can teach me how to make money. And what I don't understand, it's these other teams or these other realtors who it seems like they're making money. And I'm just like, why are you making these moves? To me, it doesn't make sense. right? So, and that's one thing with other realtors who are new to this game, new to this business. If they're watching other people take those paths and they come here and what we present to them is kind of like, oh, well, you're not giving me anything. Well, yeah, because we're going to make you work for you to earn something. But once you earn it, it's yours. Like you'll always have those leads. You'll always know how to make money. And I think that's one of the things that people do not understand about sales. Sales is not leads being given to you. We're not here selling software.
Yeah.
We're selling homes. This is about you building up your pipeline, your clientele. And that's what should be the most important thing. And the reason why I've always seen it like this, because I've only been at this brokerage and I've been in this business for 7 years.
So you have companies that make their money off of the sphere of influence of new agents, okay? And these companies, I mean, that they bank on newbie agents to come in and they run through the sphere of influence. They get all the leads that they can from that person, right? So what happens is that when they stop running low on people to hire or recruit, right? Which right now, there's not a lot of agents joining the getting their license and joining the business, right? What they will do is they will go into social media, right? Which social media has become a really good way of recruiting, right? And they will find that one real estate agent with the big team that makes a lot of money. And essentially what they'll do is they'll pay that agent. They'll pay that agent to recruit them, bring them onto the team so that everybody, just even yourself, you're saying that you're looking at this team that's already making money and you're like, hey, you're already making money. Why would you go and join this other bigger brokerage, right? Well, that's the I mean, for lack of better words, right? That's the scam, right? They sought out this high producing realtor that they can bring on with all of their team, and they'll say, oh my God, that super popular realtor just joined this brokerage. We're all gonna go over there. And whatever money that they paid that realtor to join that company, it gets offset by all the new recruits that they hire. So that's I mean, I don't know if that's the answer that you're looking for. Or am I missing something here, Vic?
I'll go short and sweet. And I say I don't like to air out other people's dirty laundry, but if you are a team and you're looking at moving and you're not getting any money, you're selling yourself short, because these people pay and these people get bonuses and these people do those things, and and that's why they lose billions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about switching, get your money, and I can't even hate on you. Hit me up when the money runs out.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter to them, because a lot of these companies are publicly traded or trying to go public, and if they go public, then they'll lose all the money in the world until they go public. And once they go public, that's it. The people that are at the top, they're set. So it don't even matter. They can survive on fumes for 20 years, just like freaking.
But let's explain that they're set in a different way. They're not set in real estate from their real estate sales and their profit from their agents.
No, not at
they're
all.
set from their stock options.
Yeah,
they're set from the stock payout that they've had. So I think in real estate agents, we all do a really good job of calling ourselves entrepreneur and businessmen and all these things, right? But you have to really look at business for what it is. They're not making their money on real estate. They're making it on the stock market. And that's been my biggest beef with all of these brokerages, is that their promise of retirement is not even in real estate. It's in the stock, and stock goes up and down and companies crash all the time and people fail all the time. And there's, all kinds of issues. My promise of retirement is property. Join us and you will retire with your investment properties. You will have property in what you do and how you do it. And that is my promise to you. I'm not promising you stocks. I'm promising you, market assets in your market.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I was doing a lot of research on this topic recently, because again, I started to actually pay attention to the market and trying to figure certain stuff out, and just to figure stuff out, right? And one thing that I noticed was that the reason why it's so easy for you to get your license as a realtor is because HAR, NAR, and TAR, the people who they make money off of is every single new agent that gets licensed.
Yeah.
And the people that just hold their license. Mm-hmm. You don't need to produce in order for them to make money off of you. Mm-mm. You just need to hold your license. And it's the same thing for the brokerages. The reason why they'll just take anybody in, they'll milk them for their 3 referrals that they get from their circle of influence, and then those people drop out of the business. The reason why we have such a high failure rate, right? Yeah. And the reason why people come into this business and they're like, oh, this dude, he just got his license and he made $10,000 last month. Okay, well, that's the second or third client that he closed. He has no more for the rest of the year. And I think that's the problem with this business. And it has a lot to do with the fake it until you make it within the business. And it's the reason why I've always hated real estate. Not real estate itself, but the people within real estate. I've never wanted to do business. I never wanted to hang out with anybody because to me, it all seemed fake. Yeah. It was a big facade. And I just been able to see it from people who actually do it. And I'm just like, what you're saying does not align to the people that I see who are actually doing business in real estate. Yeah. So I know that 95% of you guys are just a fraud. And there's a reason why I don't even like to like bump shoulders with them. Right. But now it's given me like a bigger view within the organization and figure out how stuff works.
In my opinion, if you have time, to hit all the networking events and all the coffee, meetings and all the free lunches that the lenders offer you trying to gain your business, then that's probably not something that that you're willing. That's someone that's not successful. I'm not gonna say fully bluntly that way, but I have some power players that are friends. They sell a lot of money and sell millions of dollars a year every year in real estate, and we are friends. Like we hang out, we check in on each other. They're my son was in the hospital and they're trying to pull up. I mean, they're friends from other brokerages that are trying to send me stuff, and we don't have time to hang out. There's no way that they're taking lender meetings and BS meetings and things like that. So you'll start to realize real estate is like every industry. There's people that walk the walk and there's people that just talk, and you as a consumer, one, have to figure out who you're dealing with. And then two, as a brokerage or as a realtor looking for a brokerage, you got to realize and see what they're about as well.
So I think 2025 is going to be a defining moment of who is going to be in the real estate business for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what I named 2025, right? I gave each year a name, and I named 2025 the year of harsh truths.
Yeah.
The year of harsh truths. You're going to see who's really in this business, who's not, what actually work was just fluff, who's actually just selling you courses, and who's actually in this business doing work.
So you saw this year that the Instagram realtor really faded out. I'm not saying, there's still some that are out there, right? There's still some out there doing their wacky videos, right? But compared to even 2023, right? It really faded out. The realtor that was out there doing the crazy stuff has really faded out. I think 2025, by the second quarter, we're totally going to see a big flush of real estate agents. And of course, you're gonna see that one, those realtors, I'm a wholesaler now, or I'm a commercial realtor now, or I'm a whatever realtor, you're gonna see some just, disappear altogether. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the realtor that has been learning, doing the hard work, the real estate professional. I'm ready for that realtor to start thriving. And that's going to be 2025.
Let me give you a little pushback there, right? Because me and you always have this disagreement whenever it comes to social media. But I think we agree and disagree at the same time whenever it comes to this, because one thing that I'm noticing, and I always like to pay attention, especially like whenever me and Vick talk about social media and we bring certain people up, I'm always like, okay, well, who's the person who's gotten the recent rise? Who's the person who's getting the recent clout now? And everybody who people are following now and they actually want to be like connected to that person has nothing to do with fancy cameras, has nothing to do with hype videos, with where they're eating, what they're wearing. Literally, the people who are taking off right now, they're in their house, in their kitchen, cold calling all day or doing the work.
Yeah.
Like just showing that they're doing the work off of their phone, and everybody's following them because everybody thinks that this new marketing style, cold calling, letter writing, working your circle of influence, even through social media, is something new. And it's like, no, that's just like, that's what real estate has always been. The social media aspect is something that I posted on my X account the other day was let social media show what you do in real life, but what you do in real life shouldn't be social media, right? So your work should be what you do, and then you show it on social media. But social media should not be your work. And I think everybody in real estate made social media their number one job.
Yeah.
Versus real estate.
I agree with that.
And now it's opposite. And the people who are showing that what to actually do in real estate, they're the ones who are taking off.
I will say that Trek does not teach you how to build your brokerage. It doesn't teach you how to do anything. But if you ever reach your continuing education, you actually go through your classes, Trek does tell you to focus on an area that you know the market in.
Yeah.
It does. They don't advise you, even though we're licensed in the state of Texas. It doesn't advise Rob to go sell houses in Plano. It's going to tell you where are you from, what do you know, and that's what you should stick to. It even advises you to stick to your property class. Don't do commercial real estate versus residential. It advises you to stick to what you're good at. Now that brings, I think, everything home in the fact that you have to know your market. Rob, you have to pick your zip code.
I did. I have my 3 of them.
He said that's what's going off on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Got market updates coming in.
You have to pick your zip code. And I'm going to ask Rob, because Rob is a newer agent here at Lionsgate Realty, and we've talked about his goals. So
I forgot Rob was on the pod.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot.
Rob, put the mic more towards you, bro.
We talked about picking the zip code, correct?
Yeah.
And why are we picking the zip code?
Because when the market is how it's kind of like right now, it can be a little bit.
Okay,
standard.
Migos, I couldn't hear you. What is it?
When the market is showing down and you don't have these fluent clients at the moment, you can have the zip code there and you can literally promote and about that area and you can promote yourself and like literally get all the clients and that.
Yeah.
And you can do sales and you can do open houses and you can be the listing agent and you can grab buyers. So you can have affluence, clients coming up to you.
For sure. So really to wrap up is you know the market. You start to build your client list, right? Mm-hmm. You get an opportunity for buyers and sellers, right? And you're able to sell property a little faster, and you know the market really well, right? You know where the restaurants are. You know where the bars are. You schools. You know everything. You go to schools. I go to the bars. I don't know, but whatever it is,
for the family, the kids,
whatever it is. But you have a better understanding. And the reason why I don't bring up things like schools and all that, and I could be wrong here, right? But I don't like the agents too that bash different schools and bash different things. They start to steer people in different areas and different directions. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, kids are kids and schools are schools. Really, what you need to do is what's best for you and your family. And I'm never here to guide you one way or the other. What I'm here is to help you accomplish what you're looking for. If that's an acre of land, 4 bedrooms, things like that, I'm here to help you with that, and obviously give you advice on what would be most beneficial for you and your family. So you only can do that if you know the area. You only can do that if you know the zip code. So that's why I break it down in that way. It's not new. Farming's been around for a long time. Trek is teaching it. Everyone's teaching it. It seems to be a new wave. And I'll tell you in short what we do. We do both. We do sphere of influence marketing, whereas you maximize the people in your sphere. Every person that you add into your sphere gets added into there, gets marketed to. And then you also do your SCP framework. So we're marketing on both sides. We do your social media sphere of influence marketing where you're connecting with the people because that's how it's easiest to connect. Mm-hmm. And then you also do your SCP framework, right? So you're building new clients through an old school way of marketing. So, we do have the answers for you. And I think that's important. Mm-hmm.
And just to double down on what you're talking about, right? Like even though we do have our license all over Texas, I even have one of my realtors who had asked me probably about a year ago about they got a referral in some other part of town, and they were like other part of Texas, not just town, other part of Texas outside of the Houston area, different MLS. And they asked me, you know what? Should I just sign up for that MLS so I can get this listing and lock it down? And I told him, I was like, okay, well, do you know that area? Like, are you going to waste your time going down there every single week to host an open house? Or do you think it'd be smarter for you just to find somebody who does a good job over there and refer them out and get a referral fee? I was like, you have more clients down here that you need to be focused on. There's certain things that you do not need to focus on. And not just that, you're doing a disservice to the client. You don't know that area.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you can get into the MLS and pull up and do a freaking 5-mile radius and look at what's happening there. But do you know the area? Why are those houses not moving besides the price?
No.
Right? Like it could be a
landfill.
Remodeled.
It could be a
bunch
bunch of different things.
Remodeled, and the people in that area don't want a remodeled house. They probably want something older. It could be whatever.
That's actually how I feel about people who like to throw like the word global behind their company. It's like, oh, we're global. Facts. Oh, we're international. We're this. We're that. We're like, really? Why don't you learn your market first? Why don't you become a powerhouse here first, right? and then you can attack the world, right? And you get some of these guys, right? They're out there in other countries, right? And I know what everybody's gonna say, right? Oh yeah, well, you guys do business in Mexico and stuff like that. And I say, yeah, we do business in Mexico, but we know that market and we know our market more than that market.
But not only that,
you do business in Mexico in specific parts of Mexico,
and our counterparts are extremely hyper focused in that market.
Yes, exactly.
They don't even go to other parts of Mexico.
Yeah, and the thing is this too, you get some of these people, right? They're like in other areas, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm picking up this listing in this other country or this other state or whatever, and you're like, okay, so you're out there, right? How are you funding that, right? Oh, well, I mean, you're not funding that from the sales that you're getting from closing real estate deals here. You already have other things going on, and you're almost misleading other agents, right? Making other agents think that, hey, you know what? Join our global company and you'll be a global agent. And it's like, no, that's not correct. You make money doing other things,
There's another brokerage, obviously, that I've become a new fan of, most recently because it just started this year, which is, Sirhan and Ryan Sirhan. And he just said, the reason why I started my brokerage, I didn't really have a need to leave, but then I realized that I had a bigger international buyers list than my brokerage. So I felt that they were profiting off of my clients. So I decided to start my own brokerage, because I felt that I was doing more for them than they were doing for me. Now, it didn't really, not that swayed me one way or the other, but then as you look at what he is as an agent, he is, one of the highest listing agents in New York City. He is a luxury agent in multiple areas now in Florida and in other cities. And he goes after those high-end listings that are only purchased by global agents. So it makes sense for him to go after the international market because he is the international market. Not only that, he is making the international market in his area. So if those are your goals and those are your aspirations, then sure, go after global. But if you're just looking to make a couple $100,000 a year, get focused in your area and help some families and do your job.
Yeah. And what I noticed too, he was saying that he's from Houston. He was born here in Houston, right?
Yeah.
And so, he's not, I think his father still lives here, right? Mm-hmm. He wasn't being nostalgic and being like, oh, well, I'm from Houston, so I'm going to start a brokerage in Houston too, or I'm just going to be all over the place, here and there and everywhere, right? He's specifically targeting areas, and you got these people, right, that call themselves global, call themselves whatever, right? And they're going to the fun parts of areas and having fun with the money that they've made off of other ventures, right? And claiming that they're global realtors, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'm whatever, right?
We're gonna leave the hate behind in 2024, but we see you, and I am still gonna be hating on you.
And what's funny is it's not even hating. It's just that it's funny that you have to go to another country and use my name, just to do something, and it's like, and then try to throw shade on what we're doing, which what we're doing is succeeding, right? But I really don't care, like I'm gonna make my money here, there, wherever I'm doing business, and I think that everybody that knows me and everybody that takes the time to get to know me and not get upset with me over a clip that they see on Instagram, right? I think that they know that I am here to make money, and that I want everybody to make money. I want everybody to win. And even people that are not on my brokerage, I still want to see them win. I have a lot of realtor friends, broker friends that, we talk and we help each other out, and if they're doing the right thing and they're doing what they're supposed to, then they're going to get, they're going to get my support. And,
So just to give you a little pushback again today, right? The conversation that I had with somebody else about this topic as well, when you were saying that they had to use your name and over somewhere else, but isn't that, maybe I'm just cynical, but isn't that just the nature of this business?
No.
Like, isn't that just
No,
what happens?
no.
Maybe
So-
I'm just cynical, but that's the way. Like everybody outside of this brokerage, I feel like that's just the way it is.
No.
So maybe fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. Ran into the person that had to use my name and our name, and I, and at some point you're going to see us, right? And you can't hide.
Yeah.
Right. And his response to me was, it's just playful banter between sales guys here. I said, there's a difference between playful banter and blatant disrespect. Mm-hmm. And you got to watch how you maneuver.
What's slander, really?
It's
slander.
And then I said, you got to watch how you maneuver when you talk about us, because you're going to see us. And what that means could be from A to Z. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, there's a such thing as playful banter, and there's a such thing as somebody, dropping, the ball in the market, but you don't need to bash them. You're just able to show what you're bringing to the table, show your value, and you get hired from that. If you're having to put somebody else down for you to win, then you already did it wrong.
If a competitor, hold on,
Yeah,
if a competitor, and this has happened before, if a competitor comes to me and says, "Hey, I have something and I want to take it here, and I know that you know people there, can you plug me in?"
That's different.
I do it. I do it all day long. I've done it.
Yeah.
We've done it. Okay. But
our structure in international markets gives us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I will literally say, "Hey, I will fly you down there. I'll introduce you. Whatever, resources you have, just, don't forget about me." Like this is an industry where we all make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, if you're going to use my name, to get, meetings, and then in that meeting turn around and bash me, right? I mean, that's a no-go in any industry, any business. That's just bad business. And then, you
use you use my name to get your foot in the door, and then when you get in there, you disrespect us. You pissed everyone off.
And then you pick the wrong freaking,
Well, I mean, they did it in the wrong market.
You picked the wrong country to.
That's not like that was not a smart move.
That was not a smart move.
To back up my point, right? To back up my point is the fact that that is not something that I would personally do. Mm-hmm. I would never do that, simply because, I mean, the moment you start talking bad about somebody else, that just shows that you're weaker than that person, because you have to highlight their weaknesses versus highlighting what you could do better without even bringing them up, right? So that's not something that I would ever do. But again, going back to maybe it's just my cynical nature, or the fact that I just don't like realtors in general, I feel like that's just the nature of the business.
Let me tell you the kind of person
outside of our
let me tell you the kind of person that I am. I got a lot of friends in finance, and I have a lot of stockbroker friends, right? And they constantly join other brokerages, and they're trying to move money to their brokerage. And I have a money manager, and I have another friend that wants to be my money manager. And the guy calls me, and he goes, "Hey, I can do this and this and this better than that guy." And I said, "Can you?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, he is my money manager. Call him. Tell him where he's failing, and tell him you're going to book an interview with me. And give him an opportunity to deliver why he's not doing it."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I mean, that's your job." No, we are all friends. We are all friends, and you're telling me that he's not doing his job and that you can do better. Call him. Tell him you're going to set a meeting with me. If he allows me to go to that meeting, then I know he's not doing his job. I know he doesn't care, and then I'll take your meeting. Oh, I can't do that. You got to do it. That is friendly banter. That's, hey, I looked at Vick's money account. I looked at this. I looked at that.
Bro,
he's not diversified in this, and you're looking out for me. I can respect that. And if you can tell him to his face, then that's okay, and I'll back you up. But if not, then you're just talking, and you're just being full of crap, and you're just saying these things. Mm-hmm. So that's the banter that I like, and maybe that's. I'll ask somebody, I'll ask you, is that too confrontational? Is that too different? But I feel like we're in a cutthroat business.
No, well, that's what I would expect. That's what I'm saying. Like whenever I heard that conversation happen, and then whenever you see that person in person, they should be like, "Yeah, I said that because you're freaking slipping." Like the whole thing that, it was just professional banter. That was a wussy move. That was a wussy move, right? That was backstepping. They should have been like, "Nah, bro, like, yeah, you're slipping, you're freaking failing at your job." Like that's what they should have said. But I just expect that from people in this business, not us. Yeah. Our circle's different. We come from a different background. We deal with different people. We overstep sometimes. Like it could lead to something else. This is the reason why we don't do it. We don't overstep because of that reason.
So I'm,
and a lot of these other people who come from other parts of town, they don't have that threat of of danger, which there is in that we've grown up in. You know.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They don't know that. That like Vic said, we're gonna run into you one day, and whatever you said about me is, you're gonna have to answer for it. And so the thing is this, because once again, I don't talk bad about anybody. I don't talk bad about anybody. I don't say anything about anybody that is not true. If I say, well, so and so did this, so and so did that, or I say so and so said this, well, so and so said that, I don't sit here and make up lies or make assumptions about people and say, hey, you know what, this is what this person is, and I think that's a big misconception. A lot of times, I say things and I'll keep it generic, and like 20 people online will think I'm talking right to them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, there's nothing special about you, bro. That's just, exactly what you're doing is what other people are doing too. And it's just not the way you do things,
I'll say this, that I don't need to put you down to win. I'm going to win because I'm better.
Mm-mm. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was like, if it was us, I know us in that meeting, we would talk about what we do better, but without bringing up the other person, just in general, right? Yeah. Or even like have that conversation with somebody else before. But I think it's something that Vic actually brought up to me not so long ago, was like, you wouldn't do that because you understand that there's consequences.
Yeah.
And like, that's why we say, like, in this business, one of the reasons why I hate it is because there's no consequences in this business.
There is consequences.
I mean, unless with us, it's different, right?
There's consequences.
But there's certain consequences. And it's just like a lot of people run their mouth. A lot of people, they talk down on try to get these other contracts. And it's just like, well, you've never had to deal with actual consequences before. And sometimes they're there.
Yeah.
It depends who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, and just to finish, Jovani, if said person, right, would have gotten in contact with our contacts and would have called and said, hey, you know what, I can do better, right? That's a different story, right? But to use our name just to get the appointment, then on top of that, to throw dirt on us and to make himself look better, and then that's a whole different a scenario, because I think I know what you were getting at, but then again, too, like, there's so much business over there. Why specifically go after our contact? It's because you were being dirty,
Yeah.
And you had privy information that you got from somebody from our company.
If you pick, if that was your plan A, then just know that I'm ready for plan B. And then when you figure out what's going on with plan B, I'm already on plan C. So I'm down for some friendly banter, and you're going to see what a banter is.
Yeah, it was a little bit more worse than dirty macking. They were like, oh, it's just, we're being friendly. Nah, bro, you're dirty macking, dog.
No, I'm going to have some fun. Nate's been trying to tell me to find an outlet for my excitement, and I'm ready to find it. So.
Yeah, we've been very peaceful for several years because it's been fun and games. But the pond has definitely dried up, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Serengeti, right? Whenever it starts drying up, you'll catch lions and other predators all at the same watering hole, getting water, and they all have mutual respect for each other, right? That's where it's going to start getting pretty soon, where the pond is going to be super small and everybody's going to be drinking from it, and if somebody gets out of line, they're going to get checked, and it's not going to be pretty.
And just to point out in your analogy, it's always just the predators drinking out of the pond.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like never the prey. The prey's not there along with the predators. It's always just the predators whenever it comes to these times. And I think we're there right now.
Yeah, we're definitely there. Mm-hmm. And like I said, once again, I'm gonna make my presence felt in Pasadena and Baytown and that place that you guys really like. What is it called? Mont Bellevue. Mont Bougie. And so be expect to deal with us or with Lionsgate Realty.
unfortunately, we might have a little too much fun in Pasadena, but that's a different conversation.
And that is why we'll be starting in Deer Park.
I'm trying to find out if Bam Bam is still open.
I'm gonna get my.
I gotta go on that. Here's my heart out.
Heart out. All right, guys, go ahead and exit. Starting off with Vic. Go ahead.
All right. I am Victor. I'm the president of Lionsgate Realty. You can find me at Real Presidente on Instagram, and look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
And I'm Nathan Valderas. You can find me on all my social media outlets at Better Call Nate. And I'm not hard to find.
Oh. I'm
Jose Roberta?
Without like
That's terrible, bro.
I thought we're off.
We got to start like working on that you're saying right now, though. I'm Robert Ramirez with Lionsgate Realty, and you can find me to my social media like the Agent Rob 4. So
I like that. That's actually kind of fire.
What? Agent Rob 4?
I think that's better than Real Presidente, to be honest.
What?
Agent Rob 4? Yeah, I like that. It sounds doesn't it sound like
the Agent Rob 4.
Rob 4?
It sounds like a clothing brand, no? There's a clothing brand that's close to that, or am I just...
It looks good. It looks good. Close it out. Let's go. We're ready.
Close it out, bro. Come on,
I'm
man.
Jovani, your gracious host here with Lionsgate Realty at the HBR podcast. You can find us live every single Thursday, and this was our wrap up for 2024. Until next time.
We're going to have